Hello and welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. This is episode number 1. In the Maw of Your Destiny, I am the Long Name Gamer. And today we're starting a podcast. I am the game designer and with me is Lucho. Say hello to everybody, Lucho.
Hello, I'm Lucho. This is my first time.
Alright. That was okay.
That's okay.
That was okay. So this is our podcast where we are going to talk about all different types of games that we play in general, things that we like, news of the day, and things that we like to discuss in terms of game design, etc., etc. So, this is our first episode where we should really introduce ourselves and say what we do in life, etc., etc. I will start, I guess, right? Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So, I'm the Learning Gamer. I'm a game designer. I study game design in Australia. And I love video games. I am a musician too. I play guitar, bass, keyboard, etc., etc. What else? I'm a professional game designer, but my title is actually electronic entertainer, to be exact.
Wow.
Yes, I know, right?
That sounds like the perfect profession for a streamer.
I know, right?
Electronic entertainer.
Yeah, and I study on Quantum College in Melbourne, Australia. It was a great time for me. I love it. And right now I'm doing content creation and that sort of stuff. And that's what's up with me. That's who I am. I'm a cool dude, chill dude. People love my laugh and I get kicked out of places because of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, not all of us love it, but sure.
Yeah, there you go. So what about you, Lucho? Introduce yourself to the internet.
I'm just a casual gamer. I have no experience in game design or in any form in the industry, and I'm just the normal gamer that you can find anywhere around the globe. Just
anywhere. Just
anywhere.
pick up a rock and there's a gamer there.
Basically, yeah. just run out of the mill gamer.
Run out of the mill gamer. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So, what is the point of this podcast? You tell me, Lucho.
So, the point of this podcast is that I'm not a game designer, but I do play a lot of video games. And LNG is allegedly a game designer. So, the whole point is that we want to discuss design decisions and how designs in the different games that we have played throughout the years affect our enjoyment or not of the games in general. So,
right.
So basically, I want to learn things in game design out of this conversation.
He wants to learn things. I want to teach him things.
Yeah.
And I hope that in the process we will entertain everybody listening or watching on YouTube. That's our goal at the end of the day. And that's why we're here. So we start generally, if this was our next episode, I guess. We will have more episodes. I hope, right?
We will. We will.
Yeah. That we answer people's questions or comments that we get or something somewhere in the stratosphere if anybody listens to us. And here we list the questions and we say, oh yes, let's discuss this point of this Designator XX because that's the generally thing of nicknames in the internet. This interesting question about Designator 66. Why do you guys wear beards? There you go. That's a perfect example.
That applies.
Yes, that will apply. So, yeah. But this time we don't. So we're gonna just skip that part, and the time that was allotted for that was our small intro to the podcast and to ourselves. And so, before we begin with the second section, what games do we play?
What games do we play?
Yes, what games do we generally play?
So, I usually play grindy games.
Super grindy
and
games.
I'm the farmer part of this podcast.
He is the
because
farmer.
I play things like Warframe, like The Division, like Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Till the end of the game. I farm everything possible. I used to play a lot of RTS when I was younger, but I don't do that anymore. What else do I play?
What else?
Oh, Diablo.
Diablo 3, yeah,
Diablo
probably.
3.
And you play
I
Overwatch for a
played
while?
for a while. Wow. World of Warcraft
World
for
of
a
Warcraft,
while.
alright. For a while.
Yeah.
That's like wow.
That's wow. Yeah, I played
Yeah.
for a while.
Alright. And currently, what are you playing now? You're playing a bunch of things.
Warframe. Warframe.
Warframe.
I'm basically playing Warframe, Monster Hunter, and The Division 2.
Alright, cool. And I am the sweaty part of the equation, of course. And I play League of Legends, Overwatch, Magic the Gathering at competitive level. That's the sweaty part of my equation.
That's the sweaty part, because I do also play Magic, but I'm just a filthy casual.
Yeah, you're casual. I play a high level. I was competitive when I was in Australia in the actual like paper Magic kind of thing.
That's pretty cool, man. I always think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It was amazing community and everything. And I was like actually competing big tournaments. I have to like move on to places, and I was like well known inside the community of Australian players and that sort of stuff. And I like to play competitive games generally. It was a thing that I discovered after I began to play Magic like seriously.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and then I pick up Overwatch when it came out. It was fantastic, and then after that I made some new friends when I come back here to my country, and I pick up League of Legends because everybody likes to play League of Legends, and League of Legends is the best thing.
No one likes League of Legends. I don't like League of Legends.
Yeah, but it's the most watched thing in the internet. What can you do? What can you do? So
but I don't like it.
That's the sweaty part. Beyond that, I
really
play countless games right now. I'm playing Warframe with Lucho, back into Warframe with Lucho.
Back into Warframe.
Yeah. I'm playing The Division 2, which is a fantastic game. And I'm playing Destiny 2, which I'm waiting for like the cross-save thingy that's going to happen in October to get more friends to play with. I generally play that alone because Lucho doesn't like it that much. And
I like it. I just have problems with the game.
We will have time to discuss it.
Yeah.
So, and then what else do I play? Monster Hunter World I play too. I love that game. 2 bits is so good. It's so good.
So good.
What?
It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. It's like unbelievable good. We played Dauntless, tried to get it fixed. Before the next expansion of Monster Hunter that sadly is not gonna come anytime sooner.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go to a corner and cry a little bit because of that. But
yeah, PC players, they just
they're the worst.
Just also to be clear, I play mainly on PC. I don't.
Yeah. So,
I don't do consoles.
Yeah, he doesn't do console. He doesn't do none of that. None of that nonsense.
But that's because I haven't, like, when I was a child, my mom didn't allow me to have consoles in the house.
Really? You didn't have like a Nintendo or
no? None
like,
of that.
I have consoles since I have like I've seen video games since very little. Like I watched my dad play Prince of Persia back in the day when he got his first computer, and I got a Sega Genesis and a Nintendo in those eras. I even got to play Atari, like the original Atari, like 600 thingy.
I never got a console. Like my first video games were all PC games. So like Prince of Persia, and then I moved basically to like Age of Empires and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's such an advocate for like full on Master Race, PC Master Race.
PC Master Race. Yeah, but that's my upbringing. Like that's how I was introduced to the world of video games.
There you go. So and yeah, so since I remember, then I got gift like a 64, and that was my last console. After that, I just passed to like PC gaming, and since then I haven't got a console. If I ever got a console, I probably got a PlayStation. I think that's the best console to have because they have like very good exclusive that you cannot find
That's true.
in the thing. But and that's what we
Yeah.
play, right?
I mean, if I were to get a console,
Yeah.
I would get a. Oh, I forgot. Nintendo.
Switch.
A Switch. And I told you because I want to play Monster Hunter Ultimate Generations.
Yeah, I know the old
Yeah.
classic games. I know. All right.
That'll be the only reason.
Yeah. So that's what we play right now, right? That's what
Yeah.
we are playing. And with that say, we will discuss in today Destiny 2. But before that, we're gonna discuss some weekly news or all weekly news or news in the sphere that we are playing, in the games
relevant
that
news
we
for
are
us.
doing. Yeah. For the rest of the people are old time news, but we want to discuss it here in the show because we think that are interesting news in what we play. And yeah, so starting with the Division title update 5. That's the first big news, right? All right, so let's put the patch notes here on the screen for those. Don't worry, for those of you that are hearing us on your mobile device, I guess, where those people hear podcasts.
Yeah, mobile devices.
Mobile devices. Yes, that's
Yeah.
where they hear podcasts. We're gonna kind of read what is relevant from this, right?
Yeah, we're gonna mention the main things.
Yeah. So here are a bunch of patch notes and new main missions: Manning National Zoo, enemy leader, new main missions, Cap White Oak, and new experience expedition. This part of the expedition is the very interesting thing about this news, because they're randomly generated missions, and you can get like very good rewards from it. The other two are like expansions, are like mini quests outside of the map.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the randomly generated expeditions?
It's an interesting take, but I have to be honest. I really enjoy the level design in the Division 2, and I really enjoy like going to a mission and learning like all the spam points and trying to run a mission super efficiently, knowing where everyone is gonna spawn. I find that to be really appealing.
Yeah.
And this is kind of different, so
yeah, but it's like well yes, it is kind of different. But I think the game needed something like this, like randomly generated levels.
It does help the replayability of
exactly,
some of the missions.
Exactly, for the replayability of the missions. It kind of needed that, like, because as a scour, like the Reddit post and the community of the Division, everybody was kind of getting bored of running the same missions one and over again. Especially people that are farming like very, very hard the game.
That's fair. Yeah, sure. But as I told you, like I do enjoy like learning the mission.
Yeah. I understand.
I find enjoyment on that. But
yeah,
sure, it's just that it's kind of in a sense, it's like a 180 change for me. When I'm playing the Division, I think of
like
I don't think of randomly generated stuff.
Yeah, this is very enjoyable. And don't get me wrong, like the design in the levels of the Division is very, very good. Like it's superb. That's why you want to like play those main missions over and over again, and you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because the design is very, very good. Anyways, besides that, the randomly generated, we got a reward system for call for backup, which you always ignore in the Division. I never answer to a call of backup. Do you ever answer to a call of backup?
Yeah, I have.
Do you actually answer to a call of backup?
I want to help people.
What? What is that? Yeah. Like, I do like get into like groups with people, and if the people are cool, we go and do the other missions, but I never answer a call of backup.
Yeah, before this came into place, I would respond to calls.
Yeah, calls of
from
backup.
time to time.
All right, and then the next one is the raid, the new a story difficulty raid added into the game. So,
yeah,
this is a big controversy in this update. So far, I haven't seen any more complaint in the community from this point in particular. for what I've seen on the response of the community. This patch is already live, and I haven't seen anybody, like, they were complaining before. They were like, oh, they're gonna make like the raid not worth it. Oh, they're gonna like dumb down the things and blah blah blah. And I think it was like a very very smart idea, because since the raid was put onto the game, people wanted, like the majority of people wanted, like not the vocal minority, but the majority of people wanted matchmaking in the raid, or some sort of matchmaking in the raid. And Massive keep telling us no, because the raid is very actually needs a lot of coordination, which is fine for a raid. It's perfect.
And I agree with that. Like I wouldn't like a matching system just like with random people, but more like an looking for group kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is different. Like you post in game.
Yeah.
I'm putting a group together to run this, and
yeah. So it's much better, right? But it was added. But I think that the good part of this is that the people will actually learn the raid, right? People who don't have the time to sit in the as you usually do in the channels of the division, look for groups. Because that's even like that, like running the actual raid is actually very time consuming, as a raid should be, right? But you have to have a middle ground between all that.
It is more than that. It is like I see a value because it lowers like the entry barrier to the raid. Like before that, it was probably quite intimidating for most people to look for a group and then asking like, look, like I have never done it. I don't know I don't know the mechanics.
Yeah.
And this is a really useful way for people to learn it, like to feel confident with the mechanics of the bosses.
Yes.
And then being able to go then to like a normal difficulty raid and say, okay, like I know the mechanics, I know what to.
Yeah, and they just run it, and then you go with confidence to like this very high level difficulty activity, and it doesn't create any more conflicts in the actual raid, which is perfect. Which is the purpose of this, right? It's not to make the raid irrelevant. It's not to make it easy
by
access.
No means.
Yeah, but that was the complaint of the community, that they were gonna make the raid irrelevant because everybody was just gonna run this. But in that same point,
but like many like it would only make it irrelevant if it had the same rewards, but it doesn't. So
exactly, that was my next point. Like they even changed the reward, so it's it's always more rewarding to actually run the real raid than anything else, right?
Not only that, but there are things that you can only get on the normal difficulty of the raid.
All right.
Like the exotic rifle and stuff.
So overall, we are very happy about it. The community was struggling, but that is it.
People will complain all the time.
People will complain. Yes, I agree to that. So there is a new exotic rifle, the Diamondback exotic rifle, with some stuff that it does. All right, Margaret.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into it also.
Yeah, the BTSU exotic gloves. These have changed a lot of things, which are elementary, and they're like. So what this glove does is like it augments use of skills, and this patch overall makes skills relevant, right? They changed the whole skill system.
Yeah. They did a huge overhaul
which needed, because like you cannot run any skills in PvP beyond like drones and heals. That was it. Right, and to you to be like very effective in heroic difficulties with the skills, you had to like make an insane build, like super optimized build, right? And when you want to do the raid, it's impossible to run builds in the raid. I don't know if it's viable now. I imagine so. Like there has to be like some. Have you heard something in the community?
No, I feel like everyone's still running. Like for the raid, at least they're still running. Just DPS builds mainly.
Right. Okay, so I thought there is like a lot of hope in all the changes that they do to the skills.
Yeah.
So
we have to explore.
Yeah,
skills.
I'm gonna read this straight from the article. Developer comments: we took a hard look through current meta. The builds that are fun, effective, and popular. We knew that skilled builds, while it being something people want to play with, was nowhere near competitive. We knew where was an explosive damage build that was on the fringe of popularity, but none that actually relied on really good skill mods driven by skill power. I have that explosive build.
Yeah.
We analyzed the best damage build and survivability builds out of there and look at their efficiency, how fast they kill, how fast they can clear content, how fast they can take down enemies, and mapped out our skills. How much more power do skill needs to get from 3k skill power, or current maximum requirement on skill power mods, to compensate for all the damage bonuses the player is giving up on gear to reach that skill power. Then we look at each skill and what we should be good at: burst, sustain, single target damage, survivability, etc. And when to work tuning the mods to make skill approach the efficiency of a red damage build or a blue tank build. To that effect, here are the current changes to skill mods, power levels, and some classes number skill. Alright, we're not going to go through all this, but the important things that you should take out is skills are good. They do a lot of overhaul about the requirements on the mods of the skills in the Division 2, and they're now the meta in PvP with explosive. You can like spam mines, you can spam up your skills when you are doing, and this is like, it just brings like more variety to the game, because so far
the diversity is important.
Yeah, exactly. So far everything has been like a gun build, like what is effective, right? Because I really like to like build that skill mods build, right? But I feel like when I go into a heroic difficulty, it's impossible, right?
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. You fall down on damage. You were not pushing your weight, etc., etc. So this brings skills up, and now skills are the meta, as I've seen various content creators making the claim that skills are not meta. So yeah, it is good. It is good. This change is good for the division. Is in a way more healthy place right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So moving on from that, the second news that we have for a week today is a miracle straight from the heavens. The thing that we've been requesting for nearly 2 years, almost 4 months after the game was released. What am I talking about here, Lucho? Can you guess?
Roll tune.
Oh my God! By the gods! By the gods! Look at this beauty! Look at it! It's just. I know. It's, oh my God! All right.
I told you I'm really looking forward for this change.
Even he is actually looking forward to the game. A farmer. A person who doesn't play competitive is looking forward to change the game.
I don't enjoy competitive games, to be honest, but I really like playing Overwatch with you and with our friends.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I suck, and I was stuck in bronze, I think. Really, I'm just bad.
Yeah.
But now I can be really bad, and my friends can be bad in one of the roles, and we can roll queue together.
There you go. That's fantastic.
That's the appeal to me.
And we're like,
I just want to play with my friends.
Yes, and they were like, oh yeah, we're bad at DPS and we're bronze DPS. Well, we can play with Lucho, right?
Yeah. Because I suck at this game.
All right. I'm gonna guys tell you the story of roll queue in Overwatch so you get an idea. Overwatch was released back in 2017. A fantastic DPS game, a fantastic third-person hero game with this very cool moment-to-moment gameplay and that sort of stuff. Very well-constructed heroes, very good balance, very interesting abilities in all the heroes, right? It was nice. Even Lucho.
It's an amazing game. It's a really good game.
Right.
Mechanic-wise, it feels amazing. The abilities, the guns, the characters, things. They feel really nice.
It is a really good game, right?
Yeah.
And then competitive started, and me and a very good friend of mine that we discussed a lot about competitive games. We're like, man, this game has the basis of League of Legends, right? It has some basis of League of Legends. It's a competitive team FPS game. Yes, you have different it has different maps and that sort of stuff, and the heroes are, but the idea is the same. You can extrapolate it. It's like, all right. So you, since 2000 and I'm pulling this data from my ass, so I could be wrong. So I think since season 5 of League of Legends, there is role queue in the game, right? Or there's an understanding that the community has that what you have to play. But hard role queue, I think, was implemented in season 6, 5 of League of Legends, right? And we were looking at the game, and we were like, man, I wish I could go into Overwatch and just play DPS. I want to play McCree today, right? That was the idea. You want to go and play your hero, your favorite hero. You love McCree. You just want to McCree. I actually, in my case, would be actually Genji. Anyways, yeah, I know.
Epic fail.
I know. And I just want to, but I went into games.
Handsome main.
Yeah, I know. But I went into games, right? I went into games, and I was like, I want to play Genji. But the thing is, like, Genji needs like an structure around him. It needs like kind of like certain composition to actually work, be very good. So as a sweaty that I am, I just want to win, right? No matter even if I'm going to like play this one hero, but I still want to win games, right? Nobody wants to lose eternally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still want to get one games, and I went to this game, and people just like pick all DPSs or support and or one support or one tank. So it was impossible to actually win a game because I just want to play Genji, or you were fighting for your Genji, right? Yeah. And since then we're like, man, if this game wants to succeed, it has to have a role queue, and we saw this like after 8 months of actually playing like hard competitive Overwatch gaming, right? They have to have a role queue. There's a bunch of problems with like compositions, and the game, the thing is actually designed for compositions, right? If you look at the game, every role is actually designed, all right, this role is for DPS, but it needs space into the map so he can do his job, right? This tank needs to open space, but for him to open space, he needs to be healed, right? Everybody needs to be healed for sustain, so you can crawl the objective, right? It's very clear inside the design of the actual game that you need these roles to function, to have a half good game, right? And since then, everything that has happened is the toxicity of the Overwatch community has augmented because of this. There is no role queue. Going into competitive is hell, because you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know if you're gonna get a tank player, maybe. You don't know if you're gonna get a healers, maybe. Everybody wants to play DPS. Of course, everybody wants to play DPS because everybody wants to kill everything, right? Yeah. And it's been a disaster. We've been like preaching. Every single YouTube content creator that I've seen of Overwatch has seen the same thing from a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time, people asking for this.
Yeah. And then we have this interesting conversation about, man, I hate when designers do this and they try to reinvent the wheel, right? They see a wheel, like it's clear the wheel of Overwatch, right? You don't need to, like, my point is, you don't need to do something super new to be a very good product, right? You're taking the MOBA genre, which is very, very popular, very, very good and very well established, and you have like years of actual statistics to grab on, and problems they run, like the roll lock, and then you can extrapolate into FPS and then make Overwatch, and it's gonna be a beautiful game. But if you don't look back, you will start to like deconstruct the wheel that you were based on, and you start to run in the same problems that they already fixed, right? Why don't you look back in your mirrors, right? There's this, like, relevant to the theme that we're gonna like this, to the game that we're gonna discuss today. There's this thing about like the Destiny 2. When they were developing Destiny 2, they didn't want to look at Diablo, the lessons from Diablo, right? They don't want to look at those statistics. They were looking more about the FPS. They don't want to like actually in the studio they were prohibited to talk about like saying that Destiny was an MMO or it was a proper RPG when they were developing Destiny 2, right? And that's ridiculous, man. That's really, really narrow-minded. And exactly the same thing happened with Overwatch. Exactly the same thing. They will say like, yes, there is a genre that actually exists about heroes that combat in a team, and it's called MOBAs, right? You're basing your entire game in a MOBA with a different tempo because it's FPS and they're quick games and with different like structures, but it's the same thing, right? It's that team play game. So why don't you look back and learn some lessons, right? Pull from that. And then roguelike will be like implemented like years ago. Anyway, that's my rant about roguelike. We were trying to get this into the game for 2 years. What do you think about it, Lucho? After seeing the rant.
I mean, I'm just waiting for that thing to come so we can play together Overwatch.
There you go.
That's all I care about. I don't.
It's very close. It's very close.
I never worried that much about like ranking up.
Yeah, I know.
It's not my thing.
Care. But if you enjoy the game,
no, like the gameplay in Overwatch is amazing. It's just really hampered by it was really hampered by the toxicity of the community. And like going to games for one tank, Lucio solo healing, and handsome mains all over the place. It was just a hell. Like
exactly.
So that's what I like. I tried playing competitive alone, ranking up. It was just hell for me, and then I just decided, if I'm gonna play competitive, I'm just gonna play with my friends. But like at that point, we were too far apart in ranking, so I couldn't play with them. So like, I just dropped it. Like I don't care anymore.
There you go. So yeah, that's the fantastic news. It's gonna come on the beta for the roll queue is gonna come on the. I will watch my calendar here. On the 13th of August. So next week on the 13th.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. And they're gonna run like I think it's 2 weeks of beta competitive with the roll queue because they are resetting the MMR. So they have to recreate every MMR, and because now all the MMRs are by role, so they have to kind of rebuild, which is very smart. Like this I will give you the compliment. Like they have to like rework all the roles, rework the MMR system around roles.
That makes sense.
And they have to gather all this data again to rebuild that system so you can get like fair matches.
That's fine.
Yeah. So they're gonna run those 2 weeks, and then it's gonna be like a week off, and then it's gonna go like officially on fleek on the game forever and ever.
Sure. And we should give it a try as soon as it launches.
Yes.
Remember old times, and I'll suck. I'll play Lucy all day.
You play Lucio?
Mercy main.
Yes. It's fine. Mercy is good.
I don't know if she's good anymore or not. That Mercy main because
she's the composition dependent. It depends on what heroes.
I really freaking suck at FPS games.
I know, right? But you don't have to. Well, you have to aim with Mercy sometimes if you want to like defend yourself, but that's how people
Symmetra main.
All right, Symmetra main.
Torbjorn main.
He's actually a very good character now. Do you know that? Like they rework it and they make it like a very good character now.
Maybe, I don't know. Like honestly, probably Torbjorn and Junkrat are my favorite character.
Cool. That's very cool. Yeah. It's just tracking and bouncing balls, I guess. In the case of Junkrat.
Yeah. Junkrat is just jumping around. That's really fun.
There you go. It's fair. But that's the big thing. Like they finally did it. They like I watch a bunch of interviews saying that they are actually like working in this for like 7 months, 8 months.
It makes sense. Like
but man, the game almost disappeared. Like, and the funny part is, as soon as they did the announcement, every streamer under the sun It was like, now I'm gonna play Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, even us, we should get back to it once
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
launches.
yeah. We're gonna play Overwatch. So every streamer under the sun, like all streamers that leave the game, like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, they're coming back and like, oh yeah, this is what Overwatch needed. But well, they finally did it. At least they did implode the game. All right, and that's
Oh, we'll get it right.
yeah. That's the bit of our news. All right, so now we're gonna move on to our hard team,
To the meaty part
to
of
our
this
meat,
episode.
to our potatoes.
Yeah.
We need our potatoes. And what are we gonna discuss today, Lucho? You tell me.
So basically, I have played Destiny 2 a bunch. Like I have sunk quite a lot, like quite a good number of hours into a game.
Yeah.
But I cannot get into it. Like I really can't. Like I cannot get into the end game. I don't know why. Like I reach a point where I have farmed some stuff and I just get bored of it and I just drop it. It has happened like 3 times now.
Okay.
And I like it, but I'm conflicted about it. So
like
we
it.
wanna discuss why, and
But you don't like it.
basically we wanna go through all the systems in the game, try to look at them, and basically try to see if we can find an explanation
Of why?
why I cannot get into it.
Why can you not get into?
Knowing, for example, that I have sunken like more than 1,000 hours in game in Warframe, like not Steam hours, but like in mission hours.
Which is an actual ridiculous amount of time.
Not for Warframe, but
But
for general games, yeah, that's an insane amount of time.
it's a crazy amount of time. All right. So I am going to defend Destiny because
Yeah, I'm okay. Just so clear, I'm not gonna attack Destiny.
you're not gonna attack Destiny.
Like
You're gonna try.
I'm not in an aggressive position. I really want to understand why I can
We're
get
gonna
it.
we're gonna try to figure out why he cannot get into Destiny, being a farming game that he likes, being like a grindy game that he likes, and why I don't mind the grind of Destiny. Right? I don't mind the grind. I actually enjoy the grind of Destiny more than the Warframe grind, and you're gonna like hang me up by my boots, but
I will.
you're gonna revoke my gamer card, but I actually like
Completely.
enjoy more, and I think it's in part because Destiny has some PvP aspects that I like, but not everything. But we're gonna get
We're gonna touch.
we're
We're
gonna
gonna try to
touch
touch all the aspects of the game to see
everything.
where the core lies for this problem.
We're gonna touch Destiny all over.
All over. You're gonna get all over it.
All over Destiny. All right.
Yeah, so to begin with, like I would like knowledge that the gameplay, like the gunplay in the game,
Yeah.
it feels amazing. Like shooting guns in Destiny 2, it's
Yes.
really nice. It's like shooting hand cannons, like landing a headshot with a hand cannon. Awesome feeling. Like and
So
for the most
satisfying.
part, most of the games, like most of the weapons, sorry, in Destiny 2 feel really nice. At least on PC.
All right. And yes, you're right. And there is a reason for that. There is a reason for why the gunplay in Destiny is so good, and I will argue that is the actual like the biggest selling point of the franchise, right? It's the biggest selling point of the franchise because Bungie, the makers of Destiny, come from like a long legacy of making Halo games, right? And they revolutionary, they revolution the genre, the FPS genre in Halo, in what they did for console play, for gunplay, for how you feel the gun, how you get that feedback on the sounds of the gun, and how impactful does it feel, and everything else, right? That's why the gunplay and basics of Destiny feels fantastic, and they are the strong point, right? If you're telling me like, tell me one thing why I should play Destiny, and I will tell you because the guns, because the pew pew is amazing.
the the moment to moment pew pew pew.
Yeah,
It is
there you
really
go.
nice.
The moment to moment preview is really amazing, right?
Yeah.
Shooting guns, getting new guns, like testing like weird guns and that sort of stuff is really good. Even if you don't like some guns, they're like very good to actually like feel, right? It feels
Yeah.
you feel what is the purpose of the gun when you play it, right?
No, I agree. Like, you know that, for example, I don't like snipers in
Yep.
general, like for the
Yeah.
most part,
Yes.
but they feel like landing a headshot feels super satisfying, even if I don't like sniper.
There you go.
So that speaks miles
Of
how
how
good
good
the
the gun
gameplay
is.
is. Yeah.
There you go. And that goes. The movement is kind of like jumping in this game is, oh my god, it's a discussion.
Ah, the movement. I suck. I'm
Yeah.
really, really bad with the jumping puzzles in the game.
Yeah, like the movement
And
is. All
it
right.
feels clunky to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it feels. I'm gonna say, like, I don't wanna make this a comparison to Warframe because that's gonna be unfair because the games are really different. They come from different places, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a fair comparison. But
Yeah.
most of the movement to me feels super slow and like super heavy.
Yeah.
But like the jumps, the double jump thing, it has a lot of airtime and it has a lot of weight to it. And I feel like the game demands more mobility. Like the enemies rushing to you, like that's how I feel it. I don't know if that's accurate.
All
Like
right.
I wish I could move faster so that I could be more effective
Yeah.
shooting things.
Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like I jump and then I take a lot of time falling down. That's kind of okay.
Too
That's too
floaty.
heavy. It's
Too
slow.
floaty. Too floaty.
Yeah.
Too. I know, right? And I think the problem is because it's a first person shooter, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention.
Yeah.
I didn't. I really feel like Destiny 2, at least the movement, would benefit a lot of a third person camera, like an or the shoulder perspective or something.
And that's why some of the ultimates feels really good to control because they're actually in third person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
Right. So is a very weird dichotomy in Destiny, and I haven't seen in any game. Like I haven't seen in any game.
Yeah, they designed it kind of in two different ways.
The silence. And yes, that's the thing, right? And that's the dichotomy. Like he's pushing for a third person shooter, and he's very good mechanics in the first person shooter, but they wanna kind of like have both worlds, and that's the difficulty in the movement of Destiny comes from that, right? They want to because they like when they build the game, right? They were trying to do a very strong RPG originally. But when they build Destiny 2, they push more to the FPS because that's the strong suit, which is understandable for a studio, right?
That's fair.
Yeah, that's understandable for a studio completely. And so they some of the third person mechanics and the movement feels really awkward. Like you prefer to run in Destiny than to jump all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it feels more you are accustomed to the groundedness of the third person shoot, but they have like all these third person components of RPGs and mechanics and the supers and the grenades and the things and they show it to you like every time like you put a barrier or do one of these like class abilities, you are shown in third person shooter. The animations are there, right?
Yeah.
So the model of the actual player is built for that kind of like third person mechanics, right? But you are controlling him from a first person. It may
not be built for that, but
my point, I think like my theory is like is built like the model is built for a third person character movement, but you're controlling for a first person shooter, and then they prioritize the balance of the movement to the first person. right? That's why it feels weird to jump in this game. That's why you don't know
maybe.
how much force do you have, right? Because you
Yeah.
think about the model in third person shooting and how will you jump, but the reality is that you're jumping in first person. So you miscalculate the jumps, you don't go force.
Now you mentioned that makes a lot of sense, because in some of the jumping puzzles you end up bouncing with the walls.
Yeah.
Seemingly out of nowhere a lot of the times.
It's because you're not conscious of your like third person model, of your model, right? Because you're the first person and generally in the majority of like first person games, like purely first person games, they adjust for that, right? They never change to third person. So when you jump, you get an extra like force, so the camera will get you there how you're like actually like trying to see the jump that you're trying to do, right?
That makes a lot of sense now you mentioned that.
Yeah, that's why
I never thought about it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why you have to get used to the movement in Destiny 2, right? Because it's that dichotomy between the two genres that they were trying to create, and the balance of trying to give you in third person is to the point like the balance that they're trying to sell you this power fantasy is still trapping a first person shooter perspective with the solid first person shooter, right? And they're showing it even more with the new update of the Shadowkeep when they introduce finishers, right? They look like you know how they look like the finishers on Apex, right?
Oh, really?
They're external third person camera finishers in middle of combat, right? So there you go. They're trying to like reinforce that third person power fantasy, because for you to connect to a power fantasy, you have to see to a character fantasy. When you're building your character and you feel powerful and you have this character, you have to see the entire character, how they look, how they move, right? That's the way you connect with them. If you're trapped all the time in a first person, it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but no, like I just had a revelation. Yeah,
you had a revelation.
I'm really bad at those jumping puzzles because I expect the thing to react like just a first person block.
Yeah, differently, right? Yeah.
Without like the third person kind of physics and mechanics.
Yeah, the model exists.
That's makes so much sense now.
There you go. That's why we're here on the podcast.
I really never thought about it, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's the thing about why that happens in the moment, and I suffer the same because it's difficult to disconnect it in the actual gameplay. Those two concepts, it's very difficult to disconnect.
And they are not well balanced because, like, if you enjoy shooting weapons, you're gonna spend most of the time in a first person perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you go to jumping puzzles, it's kind of, this is kind of awkward and like bouncing around in awkward ways.
You bounce because it's generally how it works in pure FPS. You don't build the FPS thinking about the whole model of the
no.
Right, because the only points that you show the model is like in cutscenes.
Yep.
Right, and generally, if you look down in a model, like right now, there are different techniques to do it. But if you think in the old days, you were just like a floating head, a floating camera.
Yeah, you're a floating camera. Yeah.
Yeah, to be exact, right?
The Doom paradigm of the gun in the middle.
Exactly, right? But this game is built with a few full models. So you when you jump, you like bounce against things. So you have like extra kind of like body that you're not used to in a first person shooter for all the time that we've been playing first person shooters, right? That's why Destiny movement is a thing that you have to get used to it, because you have to think that you are actually inside a model, which is like weird to say, but it's true, right?
Yeah.
Right? And like the modern FPS, they're compensated for this. They actually have a model, but they have a model constructed with in mind that you will never show the model. It doesn't have like all the proper geometry in points, because
it shouldn't have all the physics attached to the bouncing, because
because you're prioritizing, because when you construct the mechanic of actual shooting, you prioritize the movement in the shooting, and you don't care if you are not calculating this ledge not being jumped because the model is too big or too small or whatever, right? That's not your priority. But in Destiny, it is, because you see your model when you go to the city. They are selling you the power fantasy of seeing your model, seeing your cool armor, seeing your cool abilities.
But they could sell it and like show it to you like on the city and stuff like that.
But
without rigging it to any.
I know, but that makes them
bouncing.
But that makes them restrictions, because if you have to show if you have to show the changes in armor and appearance, you have to actually build the proper character, build the proper model, so you can have like interchangeable parts on it, right? So you can interact with your abilities. It has to be built properly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
that's the thing about the movement in Destiny. That's at least what that's my theory about the design. Like if I had inside, I'd probably be like close, I guess. But it's what it feels, right? What it feels from a design perspective is what it feels like.
Yeah,
because Destiny is selling you. All right, that's the basics of Destiny. All right, you're shooting, you're running around, you cast the spells, you throw grenades, you go into your super, and you feel super powerful. They
kind of. Not all of them feel that powerful.
Yeah, not all the supers are, but they're getting
that's
close.
fine.
But they're getting close to actually balancing them.
I don't have a problem with that, because maybe not all of them should feel super powerful.
Yeah, and there's some like ults that are supposed to be like situational. For example,
sure,
the Void Titan is just like a big shield.
Yeah,
it's not like you are not built to do damage. You're built to like your team to do damage behind your shield, for example.
Yeah,
that kind of situation. For the one of the hammers, the one that you throw the hammers, like the best ability of that is that you make your teammates do more damage because you ignited the enemy, and it's the same with the tether in the hunter class, right? You're not doing damage of the tether. You're simply like weakening all the enemies so everybody can do more damage.
Right? That's fine. Like
you have like different, which is good. You have different types of supers for different occasions and situations of what you're trying to do, which is good.
Yeah, no, that's really positive.
Yeah, because it gives you like variety, not only in your builds, but it forces you to change your playstyle depending on what activity are you doing in the game.
Yep, I agree with that.
There you go.
Yeah, that definitely, if you choose Solar or Void or whatever, you have to adapt to that.
Yeah. So the power fantasy of Destiny is cool. It's my opinion, but I find it cool. Like the powers and the Void and electric and the solar and the types of things. I think it's cool. It's solid. It's a little bit like narrow or like limited or small.
It's too plain for my taste.
There you go. That was what I was looking. That was the term I was looking for.
It's too normal for me.
It's too normal. You need more out of the. It says a player that plays the Division 2 that is too normal for power.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too vanilla for me. It's like this is vanilla-esque.
That is fair. I will take that. I will take that.
Yeah, that's not my type of thing. I need a spice in my life.
Fair. All right.
I need weird stuff to connect
fair
things and give and be. But sure.
You want Cthulhu to appear to you at night?
I do.
All right. I do. All right. So moving on.
You should know that from our experience playing Exalted.
I know, right?
So yeah, sure. Let's move on. So aside from the basics,
what is the next point? What is the next point?
Like the leveling process from, like leveling the character throughout the campaign from level 1 to level 50.
All right. So what is the basis that should be included in like the process of leveling? What do you think that the process of leveling should have in games in general? especially like in an RPG genre.
You should always be improving your loot, I guess.
All right.
Like you shouldn't stick, like, for example, you shouldn't keep a weapon from a long time or a piece of armor or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like that should change as fast as you're leveling up.
All right. Any other consideration of what you're leveling up
Aside from that, no, because that's, I mean, since my main focus in this type of games is to get to end game and do the stuff.
Yep, do stuff.
As long as it is enjoyable, and like usually, like if the basic mechanics are strong enough,
yeah,
I will enjoy the leveling up process.
All right.
And honestly, the campaign was okay for me. And I guess I should make another disclaimer, is that I don't care that much for narrative inside the games.
He doesn't care much about the lore, and he doesn't care about
not the lore, but the narrative of the campaign.
The story that's being told to you in the campaign. Yeah. All right.
Because the lore that does have a huge effect on me.
All right. Fair.
But the campaign itself, the story that they're telling me, I can, like, if it is weak and simple, like, like, bad guy, we're gonna kill it, let's do it, joke here, joke there, I'm okay with that simple story.
That's exactly what Destiny 2 give you.
that is on purpose, because that's exactly what at least the vanilla campaign is that.
Yes,
is big guy, he's taking,
he's bad,
thing.
His name is Gary.
Yeah, he took the thing and he killed someone, and
we're sad about it.
We are gonna kill it, and that's the whole story. That's
it. So for me,
I'm okay with that.
That's perfect. For me, a leveling campaign should have several things. Should have a discovery of your powers in systems, like a petal, like a bloom, like you advance, and then you're going to discover that, oh, I have this grenade, and it's fantastic, and I can kill stuff with it. What else can I do with it? Oh, I can augment it and do X, Y. Oh, I have this class ability, and in this situation it's good, but in this situation it's bad. And then I need to learn how to jump.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I have never cared about that.
You never care about like how they transition you to actually learn the systems?
No.
No? It's important. It's actually important because you learn the game.
Wiki. What do you think? What are you talking about? Google. That's how you learn the game.
Google. That's how you learn games in 2019, ladies and gentlemen. Just open a freaking Google tab and go at it.
You see my wireframe?
Yeah.
Shipping out.
All right.
No, but you're right.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
Yes. That would be ideal. So that's what a leveling campaign should teach you. Destiny does this in like the first 2 hours. No, it does it too fast, I will argue.
I will argue that it doesn't do it at all. I don't remember it, honestly.
So you pick up a gun, you have all your powers at the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah? And you just like expand your powers and you're like, oh cool, now we're like, well, I'm gonna call, and then you take all your powers away. And then you start you start to regain your powers, right? But
but that takes like 20 minutes.
Exactly. My point is, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna strip your character down, you're gonna tell a story about redemption, right? What you should do is like take a more time, give us like the sense, because you're trying to sell the sense that you are rebuilding somebody from the ground up. Thank you. So you're rebuilding somebody. So they will like probably open some of the trees of the powers, but not give you your ult straight away. Let's give you your grenade first, and then give you a few missions with only your grenade. Why? Because that will actually teach you how to play in PvP. for example, when you really have your ult, right? And then after that, they give you a class ability and they show you some missions when to like use your class ability properly or not. And then after that, they give you your ult, which is like your big reward. But that should come like middle to like third act of the actual story that they're telling you, right? Of the game, and then you give your big reward. And I'm talking about like only the leveling story process and how they sell you the fantasy. That's what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about,
right? And then the loot is gonna go in the same direction, right? At the beginning, just your weapons are good, blah blah blah, and then you get like weapons that are synergy with your grenade, and then you get weapons that are synergy with your class ability, and then you get weapons that get synergy with your ult, and then you get very powerful weapons and exotics and that sort of stuff, right? And that should be like parallel to your progression. Destiny does this well. They like keep giving you new loot as you progress through the leveling campaign.
Yes, right? Yeah, like from level 1 to level 50 and to end of the campaign. Yeah, like you keep getting new stuff and you keep changing your stuff for better
you're
stuff.
always in the loot chase and that sort of stuff, in the light level chase.
There is one thing that I would argue, and is that like on that leveling process, it's not that important to get synergy between weapons or armor and
yes, but it should, right? It's a critique that I'm putting, like for selling you this.
Sure, and to play devil's advocate, I would argue that it shouldn't, because he's during that time of the game that you should be learning the basics, like learning how to jump, for example, and getting comfortable with the shooting and that kind of like really basic thing. In my opinion.
All right.
And once you hit that, like that door, when you like, okay, this is the beginning of endgame, that's the point where you should start thinking about, so I have skills or perks on my weapons armor that I should synergize with my skills, and that's kind of the point where it will make sense for me to start getting into that.
Yeah, fair. All right.
But I see your point. Like I get it.
Yeah, and that's the leveling. And then after that, you finish the campaign around like what level? 26, 29? You don't finish the campaign at full level 30.
You don't finish the campaign
at full level 30. You don't finish the campaign at full level 30 in Destiny 2. You remember?
I don't remember. It was too long ago.
You don't finish the campaign at full level 30, and then you have to like do random like stuff on the game. Like public events and that sort of stuff for the leveling.
That's kind of weird, but
yeah. And then there comes the expansions with the extra levels that you have to get, and then you still like play more Destiny, which is fine. Like in terms of like leveling and how you manage that, like you just play more, do whatever you want, and you will level up eventually to the max level, right? Preferably go for powerful gear or do like events and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like getting to max level, it's enjoyable because you're getting new and useful loot all the time. So so you get to upgrade and change weapons, and there's always something to change and do.
Yep.
And that makes it really refreshing. So
that is true.
And it's enjoyable. As simple as the campaign is, I had a good time when we were doing it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the important thing, that you have like an actual good time while you level.
Yep, agree.
All right, and that's about leveling. Overall, like I think it's positive. The narrative is not the best in the world. The story that actually like telling you is not the best in the world, but what can you do about it?
I mean, if you're a narrative gamer, that's important.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them, so
yeah,
I'm okay.
You're okay with it. You don't mind.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, but then when you hit that, the next step is basically uh, light level farming at power leveling, or how is that called?
Yeah. Well, well, it's okay. So the next topic is the light level thingy, right?
Yep.
So it's okay, like level. It's like a carrot at the end of the stick. It's very like normal. Like, oh yeah, it's a new season. You should go get more power levels. So you should like do like me. Like now that we are in 750, I don't
Yep.
see any point to actually go for powerful drops. Besides like getting some things that if like besides getting a bank, if I want to like to levels an old weapon, something that I like to
It's
750.
I'll argue that you could do it to farm for rolls and things,
Yeah,
but you don't know. So
but the point, like that's not the point of power level. Like as I see it, that's not the point of power level. The point of power level is getting you to 750,
yeah,
right?
no, and yeah, but that journey from 690 to 750,
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
you
Like,
really like the chase of the power level.
yeah,
Okay.
because I always had an objective to do.
Ah,
So
because it was clear what you have to do.
yeah,
Like it was clear what that you want, like the next power level, and then
yeah,
all the
and
activities were there, and there was
yeah,
no problem, etc., etc. All right.
yeah, that like I really enjoyed that part of the thing. Like, just like, okay, here are my rewards. They're in these activities, and I have to do them this many times. Okay, let's go. Let's do them and see what happens.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I find it. I find it. I find it. I find it. Yes, I have the same feeling about like because it keeps you in focus. You are
Yep.
actually enjoying the chase, right? You're just
Yep.
enjoying the chase of a number. In
It's the
layman's term.
farm.
Yes, exactly. It's the
Yeah,
farm. Yeah,
it's the farm. That's the whole point. Like I enjoy that farm enough.
yeah,
Okay,
you're
now
enjoying the
this is the
chase.
thing that I'm gonna chase, and I know where it is, and I have to do
Yeah,
as many things. And
and you want it, and etc., and then you are a happy camper,
yeah,
right? All right, all right. So that's good. I insist. I enjoy too the chase for the number because it's an easy chase. It's an easy fix, right? It's the next point, and then you're almost there, and then you're just missing a piece, and then you get there, and then you're happy, right? That's easy to describe. That's a very
I agree.
classic, I'm chasing the next level. It's like an extension of the leveling process.
Yeah,
Yes,
but it is an extension. But what I'm saying is that it's fairly straightforward and like clear.
yes, yes, yes,
Go
yes.
there, do this thing this many times, and you will get a reward that's gonna be useful, and that is gonna improve your light level thing.
And then you're gonna kill better, and then you
Yep,
do the next thing. It's better than after the leveling process. You are like, oh yeah, I'm
yep,
missing some levels. What should I do? Random stuff. That's the
yep,
difference, right? Yeah, yeah.
yep.
All right. Now we're gonna discuss the difficult subject here in Destiny 2 is the loot. Sam
That
discuss
loot.
the loot. The loot. All right. So, what do you think about how much loot they give you in Destiny 2? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it so?
It's it's kind of okay. Like you can play for hours without getting that much stuff.
Yeah.
Like a couple of things,
Yeah.
and that is it depends on where on the process or on the farm you are. Like if it is before getting to max light level,
Yeah.
feels really what.
Yes.
After that, it's kind of okay because you're chasing specific things.
All right. Change these roles. All right. And the
Uh,
quantity. What do you think about the quantity of loot? You think
Um,
that is okay?
it's it's the same. Like like after 750, you don't want to get a bunch of stuff because it's just inventory management.
Yes. Inventory management the game is the favorite game of people who plays grindy games.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a sure. Like like for example, in the Division 2, inventory management is a little bit of a chore.
Yes.
Because there's just too much with too many things that you have to keep track and.
Yes, and what about this build, and what about if I take this, and what about if I take
so
this piece and show it up on my and blah blah blah, and do I delete this or not? This have a cool role, I don't know. Oh my god, I have like 500 mods.
And that can be daunting if you are just like if you're just farming for specific stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like Destiny does a good job of keeping it kind of balanced.
Yes.
Like at some point when you're farming for like end game stuff, you have to do a little bit of inventory management.
Yes.
But it's not that bad as with other games like the Division 2 or Diablo 3.
Oh my god, yes.
Or basically more than half of the game, if you don't know what you're chasing, is inventory management.
That is true. So yes, it is good. Like I agree with you, it is good. The quantity that I give you is not too much, is not too little. It's a happy medium, right? And the other part of the loot is what the loot gives you, the rolls and that sort of stuff, right? In Destiny 2, like this is history. In Destiny 2, it didn't before. I think it was like the seasonal pass. I think before Forsaken, there was not random rolls in your weapons. Everything was in stone, and the loot was super boring because once you got a weapon, that was the weapon.
Yeah, that's kind of boring.
Yeah, super boring. Fortunately, in Forsaken, they put random rolls, so the chase is interesting now. What you're looking for in random rolls, and that's my argument that why Powerful Gear loses his shine after you're on 750, because the only thing that you're looking for Power Gear is I found a cool roll. Now I'm just gonna infuse it, and I need a little bit of bank to infuse whatever I found a good roll in. But the chase of the rolls is, I find it kind of limited because of what good is. What a good role is intended as, right? There's two types of good roles. Either you have a good role for PvP or you have a good role for PvE. And that's it, right? And the good role for PvP is like slice shot with blah, so it's like two things and the rest doesn't matter. And the good role for PvP is like two things and the rest doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
So the farming, the grinding is very hard, but you don't have any imagination where like, oh, I got this with like not the roles I was looking for, but it has these other roles that maybe I can go and do X, Y thing with.
But that's fine in my opinion. Like that's the same attribute farming in the Division, for example.
Yes.
You're just getting loot to keep a couple of attributes or skills or just that. Like that's, as long as you get the right type of thing with the right skill, you keep it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing in Destiny from what I noticed. So I don't have that much trouble with that. Like just, you want a chest piece with this role.
Yes.
And you get it and then you infuse it with other stuff and that's fine for me. Like it's...
All right. Fair enough. Okay. And that's about the roles. And now with the upcoming Shadow Keeps, they're gonna add that system to the armors, where the roles that you get in the armors actually are more relevant than now, because you like right now like chasing certain particular things on the weapon that you use. Because right now there's only random rolls in the weapons, and the armors are just static rolls what you can get, right?
Yeah, I mean to have like a game based on looting, you need random rolls. Like,
so
everywhere.
The good news is like they're gonna change like a better armor system, where whatever you get into the armor actually affect more parts of the actual game, of your character. Because right now the only thing that matters is whatever, like the rolls in the armors. The only thing that matters in the world in the armors is like, do you get more dexterity for your hand cannon? Or do you get more like reserve ammo for whatever you're shooting with, right? Like it doesn't matter like your supers or unless it's an exotic. But normal armor doesn't care about like your super or your other abilities besides the guns, right? Which is limited. in that case, right? Because you should be like, if you're selling this fantasy, you should be able to like have a character with you, all that you want to do is throw grenades everywhere, right? Or have your ult a lot of time. Like have the flexibility of the system where you want to do whatever you want. Not necessarily that your gun is gonna be the super relevant thing.
I'm gonna say something controversial, and is that
Right.
probably, like, for me right now, one of the best like loot systems is Diablo 3. I really like it
Why is that controversial? It's a great loot system.
because there are a lot of people who don't like it.
All right, fair. I didn't know that was that controversial.
There's a huge section of the Diablo community who likes like Diablo 3 loot and stuff like that, and they look forward for the olden days of Diablo 1 loot.
Wow, okay.
Which was kind of trash in my opinion, but
all right.
Nostalgia Googles, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
And I did play Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 to an insane extent also when I was in high school. So
fair enough. But yeah, the loot system, I think the loot system of Destiny, like
I feel like it's ideal because all the things are like randomly generated. They have random ranges for the rolls.
Yeah.
You can move things around a little bit so you can chase stuff.
You absolutely can chase the stuff on this, but I think
that gives the loot system a lot of life. Like
yes, that's true, and I think that it's gonna get better with the new armor system because it's gonna matter more what you have in your armor. Like the armor right now is kind of irrelevant. You can like run anything on your armor as long as you have.
Let's hope like if in general the loot system of Destiny gets closer to Diablo 3 for me.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool.
Right. Yeah.
For me, but also there is something that it's also kind of important to mention, and is that loot system is really grindy.
Diablo 3 loot system?
Like, yeah.
Yes.
Because, yeah, but that's not sure. It's really grindy, and what I'm trying to say is that it's not that casual friendly.
Yes. Like, but that's not my point. My point is like that system, that loot system, it like it doesn't matter. It actually gets you to your power, that the power fantasy you want.
Oh no! I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that we have to take into account to what community are they
of course
targeting,
and they're like
the really hardcore like grinding kind of
farmers,
people like
kind
me,
of dudes.
like we are really gonna sink hundreds of hours to chase this thing with this role.
Yes.
Which it can get really boring really fast.
Of course.
Or are they gonna chase the more casual kind of I play during the weekends because that's the only time that I can play, maybe for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And I want to get something out of that. I want the 4 hours that I'm gonna play Saturday afternoon to give me results.
Yeah.
With like super grindy games, it may not happen. Like in Diablo 3, you can play for hours, endless drifts, and not get a single ancient, and so you don't get anything out of all that time
invested. All right, I see your point. But
so I lean more towards the later, just more grindy. But I do acknowledge that that's not probably what most of the community wants.
But I argue that that's the nature of the genre, right? You have to have the thing is, like, in this genre you can actually have your cake and eat it, right?
I don't think so.
Because no. I will tell you why. Because the example is Diablo 3, right? If I play for super casual time in Diablo 3, I can get to a build. I can get to one of the power fantasy that I'm like.
Agree.
Absolutely, I will not have the best items ever. I will not have doing the DPS, and I couldn't like imagine to actually push like high GRs and that sort of stuff, like push high level content by any stretch of the imagination. But I will get to my power fantasy, right?
Sure.
Faster. The problem is in Destiny 2, your armor doesn't matter at the end for that power fantasy, right?
Sure,
right? Unless you put like the basics of basics. It's like, oh yeah, I want to have more, and this is the example. I want to have more ultimate uptime. All right, I'm gonna just slap 5 pieces of armor mod in whatever half decent mod armor that I have, and that's done. You don't have to look for armor anymore unless it's pretty. That's it.
No. Sure, but that's what they have right now, where it's kind of in the middle of things. Like,
yes.
Like, I will argue they're trying to have the cake and eat it. And my argument is that you cannot have that in this genre. Like you have to make a strong decision.
But the example is there.
No, okay, but there's okay. I disagree with that example for one reason, and is that
okay? Yeah.
Destiny 2 has raids.
Yeah.
While the end game of Diablo 3 is just doing rifts and pushing numbers.
All right.
And those two are different, like, are types of content that you approach in a different way. Like, so the end game in Diablo 3 is just a game of numbers.
Yes.
That's all that matters. Like, you just scale the roll so that you can push higher level rates, and that's it.
Yeah.
But you don't have an end game activity that relies on like that heavily on like skills and puzzles and raid mechanics. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And for that other type of content, like it's not a game number. Like, it's just there are more things that come into play.
Okay.
So,
How's your conclusion? Meh.
No, I mean, my conclusion is that for those two types of contents, the loot has to work in different ways. Like,
all right.
That's kind of what I'm getting to.
You're kindling. All right. All right.
And that's what I'm saying. That like it couldn't, like, since Destiny has raids and stuff like that, like the loot system and the armor system, it may be a mistake to make it too much or too closer to Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Even though that's what I would like.
That's interesting. It's like, it may be dangerous because you'll be ruining some part of the experience, but I will actually like it.
I will actually like it because that's the type of game that I like.
Yeah,
That's the type of farm that I like.
I will say, okay, I understand your point. Like, it will be difficult if the construction of the build, in the construction of the loot of the new armors will affect too much of the baseline of what can you get in a reasonable time to go and do an activity. Because right now, the only important thing that you want to get for going to rates in your armor is like 750 and maybe some mods.
Sure, and that's too shallow for me.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what you need to do the race right now.
Yeah.
Right? You need more like better guns, which is all the random rolls and the grind it is, right? But the armor is irrelevant in raids. The armor becomes relevant right now for PvP because you need certain things to help you deal better damage with your weapon and be more accurate and that sort of stuff.
Okay, but then you could maybe, playing again devil's advocate, you could make the argument that exactly what you said, that armor is not important for PvE content.
Yes.
But it is important for PvP. So if you want to have a good PvP build,
important, right? It's not. It doesn't take you too long to actually get to the point.
Okay, sure.
Right?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, you got it, right? You like, what do you need? Oh, you use hand cannons, which like everybody uses on PC, right? So you need like hand cannon dexterity on your chest.
Amazing.
Yeah, you use hand cannon dexterity. You want hand cannon dexterity on your chest. And you want hand cannon like stability, hand cannon dexterity on your arms. And then you want like hand cannon aiming in your helmet, and that's it.
Fair.
That's it, right?
Yeah, but
you want tractions on
that,
your boots. That's it, right? You don't need like the super like very good. Like it's not gonna give you an edge to have like
no,
very good
and I agree with all of that. And the point is, like, the current loot system allows you to get there fairly fast, quote
fairly
unquote.
fast. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And that may be aimed to a more,
casual.
I don't want to say casual, but the like less involved player, like the gamer with less time,
the gamer with less
that cannot think.
All right, not
Dozens
casual.
of
The
hours
gamer with
into-
less time. We're gonna call it by a better name. Deprived
It's
time
just-
gamer. The deprived time gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Deprived time gamer
Because
might not get that.
There are a lot of us like that. Like, I do have a job, and like
Yes.
not every week I can sink hours into farming. Like nowadays,
Yeah. But that's a
so I do appreciate that. Is like I can get stuff and still be able to get somewhere in load wise, I guess.
But there is ways to solve that, right? There is ways to solve that in the sense that you can make activities that gives you certain type of gear that is baseline good for whatever you're trying to do, and it doesn't take forever to actually get it, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then you go, and then the gamer that has the time goes out and then farms like the perfect thing, right? That's how you solve that problem of like.
Sure, that's why activities like the menagerie are really good.
Are really good, right? And that's the sense that I'm getting from Bungie, that they're gonna do that, right? Because there's a big part of the community. Yeah.
Sure. Now, if they keep going in that direction of like menagerie like things and rewards,
yeah,
I'll be perfectly fine with that. And I do enjoy the menagerie quite a lot. Like, it's an engaging activity with interesting mechanics, and it doesn't take forever, and you can get like useful reward.
Yeah. There you go. So if they go to that point, then it's very good, because there is a large part of the community that they're saying like, oh man, like armor doesn't actually matter. Why don't you do the same that you did with guns and make them matter in the sense of loot?
I hope they do.
And that's what Armor 2.0 is looking to be. We hope that.
Let's see. Like that. Let's wait and see.
All right.
That's my policy all the time. Let's wait and see.
For putting a random like number to our end of the discussion of loot, we're gonna give you 3 bananas over 5 mangoes. It's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Right? It's an okay loot. It's not the best. They have to work in the armor because the armor is irrelevant. The guns are actually fun to chase. There is some exotics. That's the next point. So now we're gonna discuss, like, after concluding that it's okay, we need better armor, even if it has the risk to like be more grindy, but that's okay in our parts, right?
Yep.
And they have the solution to it, that is like activities like the menagerie, which gives you like the reward that you need to do X or Y activity, and they guarantee you a good drop. Right, that's the solution.
Yeah, that it seems to be pointing to the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah. So next we're gonna move on to builds and build diversity. So what do you think about builds in Destiny 2?
I don't know. I don't get it. I told you before. I don't get builds in Destiny 2.
You don't get builds in Destiny 2. You don't know.
I don't understand it. Like I don't know why.
All right, I'm gonna tell you the builds of Destiny 2.
No, I mean you have told me before. It's just like after you told me, I get it.
Yes.
But I don't care about them.
All right.
Like I feel like without a build, I am good enough killing things as fast as I want. Keep in mind that I don't play PvP. Like I don't care about PvP. I'm mainly PvE player.
All right. So what is the point of the builds of what is the build diversity of Destiny 2? Is you want to get your ulti very fast. Right? For now for now, that's the extent of the build diversity of Destiny 2.
Sure, but
things that affect your ultimate. That make it faster, slower, do something different, whatever.
Sure, I know that and I understand that, but that's not my point. My point is that I don't care. I don't feel, or at least in the game, it doesn't feel like.
Of course, because like what I'm gonna tell you is like, yes, you're right, because it doesn't matter. Like the builds of Destiny are built around your loadout, but you're really not doing a build. You're just using cool weapons, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
and
so if you were to ask me,
yeah,
like, are there builds in Destiny 2? I would say no, because I can probably kill stuff as fast. Like, yeah, for sure. I may be less efficient than most people with a good build, but I still can do Nightfall.
Exactly. Exactly my point.
I can kill bosses.
Yeah,
fine.
It's fine. It's fine. That's my point. Like the build diversity of this, it comes like, I have these very cool exotic weapons, and then I have and then I have a cool like exotic armor that gives either A gives me more ultimate or B makes me do more damage. That's it.
Oh, but then that's a fundamental flaw for me of the game. Like,
exactly.
Like if I don't care about builds, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Like now I am we are in the situation where I was at. Like we got back to the game a couple of weeks ago. We farmed from 690 to 750.
Yeah.
I got to 750. I got a couple of exotics.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, now I can kill all the stuff with this 750 gear.
And then see you next year.
Yeah, basically. So
yeah, bye-bye.
if there was and I haven't encountered like a normal activity that I cannot do with that.
Yeah. So,
I may not be as efficient. Like, yeah, there are people who kill things faster and more than me, but we can still finish like between the two of us Nightfall.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, and I can say like I can go into a raid with like the things that I have in 750. Like that's another requirement.
Kill stuff.
Yeah, make a raid. Like I did a raid in like 730 when Season of Opulence started.
We can go to a menagerie.
Yeah.
Completely like really efficiently, maybe like 2 rooms and there was.
Yeah.
And do it. So there is no real reason for me to care about it.
There you go. And this is the weak point for me to Destiny. Like the build diversity is non-existent. And on top of that, we're gonna talk what is the cause of the build diversity. And I'm saying that is the exotics. Right?
Yeah.
And what we're gonna talk about exotics right now. Build diversity overall is non-existent. Right? But it's not because the game doesn't have the systems for that to be possible.
Implemented, yeah, sure.
It's because the items doesn't do enough for you because what is the basis of the majority of RPGs, right? You have base abilities, and then the items change that, and that creates builds, right?
Sure, yep.
So you have like your normal grenade that does nothing, that just destroys and explodes, and then you get this exotic. The exotic says, instead of like throwing your grenade, now you hold it in your hand and then you throw your grenade and the grenade pops into spiderlings. And then each spiderling crawls and then explodes into something. Fucking amazing. Right?
Yeah.
And that makes builds, right? The exotic. So what about the exotics of Destiny 2? All right. I will start by saying that the guns exotics are very interesting.
I agree. For the most part, a lot of them have really interesting mechanics and
yes, and it changed.
But then again, that kind of falls into play with usually for Destiny 2, guns and gunplay is really good.
Is really good.
And exotics fall into that. The exotics are really interesting and they have really nice mechanic changing.
Yeah, exactly. How you shoot, how you actually complement, what other weapon have with your exotic to be good. And how do you manage your exotic? What bosses are against? If like it kills like one boss or it kills like a mob and it's cool, and like and they're enjoyable to use all the time, right?
Yep.
But armor exotic are overall like a piece of trash. Like the only two things that the armor exotic does is either gives you more damage or gives you more ulti. Or gives you more damage on your ulti.
Or a skill cooldown, because from what I remember, like my favorite exotic is for the Titan is the chest piece that reduces your solar abilities cooldown.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like you get to throw more grenades.
That's cool. It. All right.
That's I'm fine with that.
Okay, but that doesn't pique
that doesn't change things. Yeah. And it doesn't change the way that I play the game.
Yeah.
In a meaningful way.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't change the way exactly my point. So the weapons are fantastic. The armor is terrible in terms of exotic, in terms of what it actually creates build diversity, which are those unique exotics that, I don't know, let's see, I don't know. I can imagine I'm a warlock, and then I got this exotic where instead of casting my ult, I give everybody a big buff, and then I'll be like a super support warlock, and then I'll get wings while everybody's buff, and then I get connected to everybody and we'll share health.
No, you're right. The armor exotics don't feel that exotic.
Thank you. And yes, they say oh yeah, you get so if you kill with void, you get your void abilities faster, but that's just skill cooldown. That's all right.
Yeah, that feels like a normal skill.
Yeah, if I can grab any armor and put a bunch of skill cooldown mods, and I would be doing the same. And that's it. And roll very good passive on my armor, where every time I kill something, it will give me
you're right about it. Now that I think of the Titan exotics, because I have only played Titan to a good extent.
Yeah.
They feel pretty simple. Like they don't feel exotic. I don't get excited when I get one. It's what does this do? Oh, you make more damage with your melee. Cool.
Yes. Okay. Sure. And there's a bunch of trash. I've seen those videos where they rate the exotics, and the only good exotic is 5, and they generally either give you more ult charge, or they make you deal more damage with exotics with your ult or your abilities, whatever. That's it.
I agree.
Yeah,
man, that's so true. The armor exotics don't live up to the name.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
It's a shame, because there's a lot of possibilities that you can go with that. You can fundamentally change what you can do, right?
Yeah, and after getting them, you're done. Don't care.
Yeah, you're all right, cool.
And you don't care. This is not cool. Really.
Nice. I have my ult 10 seconds earlier. Nice. Right? The only exotic that I was actually pumped about in the game, it was the exotic that gave me unlimited grenades for a time. And it's so difficult to build around that it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? Because you need to guarantee a melee kill, and then after you get the short window on the infinite grenades, and that's it. So, and then you're running a bunch of risk because you have to run this certain thing to complement your damage. So it's make it infinitely difficult to actually exploit that. And that's a fundamentally change mechanic, the fact that they will give you infinite grenades for a short time.
Yeah.
Right? And
but that's how exotic should feel. It should really feel.
Every exotic should feel that exciting, right?
Yeah,
the other one, the helmet of the Titan, the one that makes you that gives you infinite, the one that I'm using in the video actually. The one that gives you infinite yeet.
Yep.
Right? And that's one, right? The other exotics, they give you more and that's it.
Yeah, they're not that exciting.
Exactly. And for every class, I only want one exotic which fundamentally changed how the classes play.
You're probably right, yeah.
Yeah? And that's silly.
It is really silly.
Every exotic should be like that. Like the one of the one of the hunter is like ones that give you like kind of infinite knights, which is very cool for you throwing your knights, and you're mainly killing people with knights, which is so cool. Like oh my god, like I don't need my weapons unless there's like a too strong enemy to kill in one knifing. But it doesn't matter because I knife and I ignite him, and he's like weaker to me, and then I use my guns.
Yeah.
Right? But for the most time, just knifing people and then running around like a hunter, and that makes you feel like the fantasy more than you pick a weapon all the time, right? It should have like that variety on gameplay in every exotic. Every exotic should have you imagine. And yeah, you could take the argument that they should be bad exotics to make the others good. But
no,
no,
right?
That's
that shouldn't be an excuse. Like all of them should be good, and you should be able to make a build around each one of them, and that should be a thing.
Exactly.
So you can equip only one. So you pick the one that you want, you build around it.
Yes.
So, and all of them are good. Yeah, so some of them are gonna be. Some of builds are gonna be more efficient for this and that. But if all of them are kind of in the same tier, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like then it's up to you to play. Like I like grenades, or I like melee, or whatever.
I like this specific ability from this 3 class or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to be a super tanky dude, and then I take this exotic that I don't know gives me extra health whenever I do X or Y, right? And these exotics exist, right? But they're like not excited in the way that doesn't change fundamentally your playstyle. Like they're too few. Is my point, right? You can see the possibilities, right?
I agree, and I feel like we're kind of arriving to a core problem for me with the game, and is that
we're close, right?
Yeah, like I cannot, since basically I don't care about like as it should work. It should be like you find an exotic that feels really cool or that sounds really cool.
Yes.
And then you make a meaningful build around that, and then that's your goal.
Yes.
But basically, since most of the exotics, like the weapon exotics, they are kind of separated, like they're cool on their own.
Yes.
But the armor exotics are not interesting enough, so it doesn't, like, they don't require to have a build around them to make them like super cool. It's more coolness than usefulness for me.
Yeah.
So since that is not there, and on top of that, like the basic armor building is kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
Then it falls apart. Like I don't care. Like if I don't care about the exotic things, I basically don't care about building, like doing builds and farming for builds.
Because
basically that kills the game for me. Like after reaching max slight level.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, I don't care about the builds because there is no really good direction for the building.
For the building.
Yeah.
But yes, that's the big problem. Like the armor exotics of Destiny are like lackluster, and there's too little that are actually like useful, right? And there's a lot.
I don't care about that.
Like there is a lot of exotics, but like when you have like how many, like around 20 to 30 exotics, and like 5 of them are good, you have a problem, man. Right? It should like as a designer, you should look at your statistics. They have the data. They have how much exotic gets played.
Yeah.
Right? For how long? Right?
Yeah. And I mean, not only that, but like they also have all these like YouTube content talking about good and bad exotics, and I've seen a couple of them. As you can see, like there were like 2 or 3 goods per
you
class.
See it, right? Yeah.
And then after that, like you have a couple of maybes, and then everything else out of the hundreds of exotics is kind of trash.
Yes, exactly. That shouldn't happen. Like if you look at something like the Division, they have gear sets, right? But gear sets are not exotics, so you cannot do the comparison, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at the exotics of the Division, every single exotic is super ridiculously powerful, man.
Yes.
Like when you get like one slot, like the gauntlets are insane, the holster is insane.
Yeah.
And he actually and you want that experience. You want that experience. Like when that experience, that when I get that holster, I was like instantly, oh man, I want to do like a pistol build.
That holster did change kind of the meta, because it was funny. Like before that holster came out,
Yeah.
the raid meta was basically AR builds, like
Yes.
damage to elite with AR damage.
Yeah.
And after the holster came to the game,
Yeah.
like a bunch of LMG builds came to place. Like, yeah,
I told
like
you.
they're
Didn't
really
I tell you?
Yeah. No, I mean, you told me that you were gonna do that build, but it was funny, like how just that holster
change everything.
Made a lot of LMG builds viable for endgame content.
Yeah. And the same, like, and now with the gloves, right?
Yeah.
And now the gloves are changing the meta in PvP because they're so powerful and they give you so much extra melee. And that should be the feeling, right?
That's how it should feel.
Yeah, when you have a system based around exotics of one slot. Like every time you pick a slot, you say, what in the, oh my god, right? This feels powerful because it's super limited at one slot, right? The gears is another thing because Destiny 2 doesn't have gears. Arguably, they have like gears for raids, which is like if you have every piece of one armor, they give you
sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, maybe Destiny could benefit of like gear system, like either Division or Diablo.
Yeah, exactly. In general, because the gear system is like, if you have like this, all these gear set, then you have like a small reward for
for like gear bonuses should be a thing.
Yeah, but apparently nobody can nail gear bonuses except Diablo 3. Even they have like some gear sets that are kind of like losters, but
for as much as I love Diablo, like you have to acknowledge that from season to season there are some that are trash, and
yes.
and like it's really difficult sometimes for them to change the meta. Like like you like for 3 or 4 seasons you have for a class 1 or 2 gear sets that are really good for pushing greater rates, and aside from that they're kind of meh.
But then
but they're nice, like they're useful.
But then I will ask you the question: which system do you prefer? Do you prefer just exotic systems, or just gear systems, or both?
I think why not both?
There you go.
Yeah, it should be both.
Right?
It should definitely be both, because you should be able to make the decision and to mix things. Like for example, like the gear bonuses should be based on the number of pieces that you equip, like the Division or like the Outlaw. Like you equip 2 pieces, you have this bonus. You have 3 pieces, you have this bonus on top, so on and so forth. So that you can mix sets, and maybe you can mix the sets with exotics, and you have everything. Like why not?
Why not everything? But the problem
it just gives more depth to the buildings.
The problem with that is like balancing
gear sets. Balancing that is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, balancing gear sets is way difficult than balancing exotics, right?
Yeah, no, balancing gear sets and gear bonuses, it's super hard.
Hell. But it's the idea.
Diablo 3 has been doing it for years now.
Yes.
It's super hard.
But I agree with you. Like it should be like both. It should be both. It should be bad, but it's super hard. So
it's super hard. But that's think, like But you have to make the decision. Like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to balance, but it's in general gonna give a little bit more depth to a whole system. Correct. And that's good. Like
correct. So I'm hoping that with the Gear 2.0 they actually like think about gear sense in a way in different way that they're thinking about it now in Destiny 2, punctually, where the only thing that they give you is like in terms of gear set is like advantage in certain activities, or they're like a requirement for quests, which is okay.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, exotics in gear set needs more work, needs to be better to create more like build diversity, and exotics in weapons are actually very, very cool, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Now, Group play. How
That's
is
the only way to play that game. I will put a bullet on my head if I had to play it alone.
Okay.
It's so boring.
You find it you find it like solo experience, group play solo experience. It's weird because I find the solo experience of Destiny cool, but because it gives me this solo experience of an FPS. But it's absolutely agree with you that it's like fantastic to play with a group.
Yeah, I cannot do it alone. It's just I rip my face off like just out of boredom.
But what do you think of the group play in Destiny? Is it good? Is it bad? It needs to change something.
There is one thing that they should change, and it's kind of the inconsistency of the amount of players that you need for different activities. Like there are things that you can do with, like for the party of 3 people. There are other things that you do with 6. There are things that I don't know. It just feels
weird,
kind of all over the place. Yeah, to me, but just like make 4 for everything. That's
it. 4 for everything. 4 is the perfect number. Such a good number.
Yeah, it's.
But the
2 times 2 is 2 plus 2 is 2 to the power of 2.
Does the manager doesn't like feel great with 6?
The manager feels great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
But the rates are 8 players.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they feel fantastic, right?
Sure.
Yes. So I will argue that in group play like Destiny, more players, more fun, as in the majority of the games. And the group play is actually like balanced. You don't get like super advantage if you have like a full group. In terms of how much it takes it to kill a boss, right? Like right now I'm doing like a strike activity, and like I'm kind of doing like with 2 people, and we're fine in terms of damage, as long as
it's okay, sure, it's well balanced, but it feels kind of odd for me. But that may be just me, and you may be right.
Yes. So
again, I'm not gonna argue that much with that because I mainly play with you.
All right, fair. But yeah, it's definitely fun to like play with people. Like when you have like a big, like the manager is the perfect example.
Right? Yeah.
Like you feel like old people running around, and you feel the actual power of the guardians, and how the abilities combine, and everybody sits down, and you're old.
I agree. The manager feels really fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the group play of Destiny is like fantastic, in my point of view. The same as PvP. PvP is really good. You have some problems, but whatever.
With PvP?
Yeah. But now we're going to the raids. Right?
Yeah.
And why are you not motivated to attempt them?
I think
when you are a WoW player who's been raided since what year?
and it like again it boils down to the same loot problem as before, and is that the raids don't have loot that I care about.
Yeah.
So if I don't care, and it's for me the motivation is the carrot on a stick. I follow the loot.
Yes.
If the activity doesn't have loot that I care about, I'm not gonna care about the activity. And that's I'm a simple person.
You're a simple man.
I have simple needs.
You have simple needs. All right. What if I tell you that the best gear loot is in raids, and there's actually exotics in raids?
Right now, but that was the whole point as before. Right now, that doesn't matter because I can still do everything.
All right, fair. I see your point.
So you see, like.
And what about the experience of raiding Destiny 2?
I have raided in other games, and it's amazing. I don't know. I follow the loot. It's just I really do follow the loot.
All right.
I'm a donkey with a carrot in a stick.
Yes.
And that's the kind of gamer that I am.
I will say that the raid is very fun. Like the mechanics that they put in Destiny are really good, well constructed for what I've experienced. and they're not like super long, and they're not super short, and
What
then
is
you
super
actually
like?
need
How long should they take? Like with a competent group of people?
for a raid. I will say around the 2 hour mark. That would be my measure.
Around what? Sorry, I didn't.
2 hour mark.
Sure. That's. I mean, I guess that depends, but yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll say that's like, oh my god, it took forever. It took forever. That would be like the 2 hour mark.
So 2 hours should be. It took forever.
Yes.
I think that's kind of short.
You find that kind of short?
Yeah, because for example, the Destiny 2 raid, if you're able to do it in 2 hours, like from beginning to end,
Yeah.
it's a really good run.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a really good run. Like,
How long does it take you to do the Division 2 raid? To
the what?
the Division 2 raid. How long is it
From
taking?
my from my experience, like with
Yeah.
just making groups on the Discord channel,
Yeah.
it usually takes 3 or 4 hours
Jesus.
because like unless you get a like really experienced group,
Yeah.
you're gonna wipe in each boss at least once or
At
twice,
least once. All right. Fair. Yeah.
and there is of course a little bit of downtime between bosses because you need to rest a little bit.
Yes.
So yeah, but in my experience, like just from random groups with people, like just writing on Discord, joining Discord groups
Yeah.
between 3 and 4 hours.
Okay.
I have made 2 hour runs, and I told you all this. Like I did a less than 2 hour run,
Yeah.
and it was basically with a super experienced group. We only wiped once on the first boss,
All right.
and then we didn't wipe on
Uh-huh.
up to the end. And that was
Okay.
a super nice, smooth run. Everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone had the mechanics, knew encounters, had the builds. Sweet baby Jesus. I hope all the runs were like that.
All right. All right. Okay. Okay. Then maybe I'm kind of like in a skewer type of camp, or like I will like a rate to be like around 2-3 hours and no more than that.
I will admit it should be a little bit longer because it's supposed to be hard. Like
Well, it's supposed to be hard. Yes,
hard,
that's
like
correct. Yeah,
the difficult content that you
but
need
I really like.
mechanics and farming and
Um,
preparation and coordination.
Get rip farming.
No, but like for the raid, which is supposed to hardest content in the game. Yeah, like
All right.
it should require good mechanics. It
Yeah.
should require knowing the encounters. It should
Yeah.
require good builds.
All right.
Otherwise, it's just another thing too, with nothing special.
All right. Fair. Okay. On that topic, I think the rares in Destiny 2 look interesting, but right now we're like a little bit short of people to actually do them. The ones that experience I liked, like the mechanics and what you have to do with the bosses and what you have to do in AB points. Like they're
Yeah.
very solid. And that's that. I think we need actual people to do it. Will you be up to do a raid if you have like a group in Destiny 2?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but my point is not that I'm not like if we get the team to do them, sure, I'll do it.
Just for the
But
experience, but not it's not because there's not enough like rewards at the end
is nothing like
to chase.
right now the raid is not an activity that I'm gonna chase.
It'd be good if you have like a good exotic, like a very very good exotic at the end of one of the raids.
Yeah, like really good game changing that it's actually appealing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for me at least. But like as I said before, this whole thing probably depends on overwhelming the whole armor and building system.
Yeah.
If
The
that
only-
doesn't change, kind of for me, it's
Yeah.
really kind of that.
Yeah, the most thing that I've heard about the raids is like in terms of loot, is like you get the better gear, like the armor gear from it, because you have enhanced perks, which are like the better like perks,
Sure.
normal, and then you have some like very good damage weapons, but that's about it. I haven't heard any raid that actually has. There is a raid that has an exotic behind it in a quest,
Okay.
which is the Leviathan. It actually has like
Yeah.
an exotic, but right now, but I think we already got that exotic because it's part of year one. And remember that they're
Okay.
actually selling the exotics from year one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually selling the exotics, and that's one instance of it where there is an exotic. There is an exotic behind a raid.
Sure.
So in that point, if the exotic was like really game changing, you will chase it, right? But right now,
Sure.
it's like, oh yeah, it's a very cool shotgun, but
Yeah,
I think
but
that's the sentiment, right?
it's yeah. But for me, it's gonna be a little bit harder to get into them if they don't change how the whole armor thing works. I feel.
Yeah.
I
Hopefully,
feel I feel like for me to carry the raid, it needs to have good rewards, and those have to link with builds that I actually want to chase.
yeah. All right, so that's about raids.
Yeah,
We want to experience more, but we need like
we need people, we need
and
friends.
we need more friends, and we need an actual like reason to go and chase one.
Yep.
Besides the experience, which is the experience is
Yeah,
always cool,
sure.
right? The experience is always cool.
I need my carrot. I don't.
You need a carrot. It's fair.
Yeah.
Now the last point in Destiny 2 is the PvP.
Yeah, and I have to excuse myself because I don't play. I mean, I do play PvP when they tell me you have to do these many rounds of PvP to get this powerful reward. If they don't tell me that, I'm not gonna play PvP.
Okay.
But that's because I'm in general not a PvP player.
You're generally
At
not
all.
playing. But did you like the PvP in Destiny 2? For what you play? You find it okay? You find it terrible?
It's okay, except Gambit Prime.
Said
They
Gambit,
made-
why Gambit Prime?
There are freaking ton of AFKs.
Oh yeah, that's
You know
thing.
this.
Yeah.
And this that's a like fundamental flaw on whatever they did. Like I think there's an exotic quest that requires you to complete
like
these many
50 Gambit Prime, something ridiculous like
something stupid like that.
that. Yeah.
And that encourages people to AFK Gambit Prime.
Yeah.
And that ruins it for me. Completely.
Yes. In this we agree deeply. We
And
hate
that's-
FKs,
that's-
and that's terrible. And it's because it's a very I don't understand. It's like I understand, and even if I understand, I get angry.
No,
like I understand why it's like it's very like why it's convenient to just like AFK and go.
Sure.
Right?
No, I understand why people do it.
Yes.
I don't get why Bungie
Less
doesn't
this
fix-
happens. Yeah.
they
Doesn't
should
like
change the
it-
quest so that it doesn't encourage
Yeah.
AFK farming.
Yes.
So it's not a flaw of the people. No, the people are just gonna do whatever they are gonna do to farm the thing. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we do as gamers. Like we just try to do it as efficiently as possible.
Yeah.
It's Bungie's fault for like, and they know about it. It's impossible that they don't know about it.
Yeah, they know. Of course they know. Of course they know. Of course they know.
And that's the thing that annoys me. Like they have to know, and that's not a good design. Like that's not a good decision for the health of the game. Because I get into a Gambit Prime match, I find like I have had matches where I am the only one actually playing out of the 8 people
No.
in the match.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, and it takes
Holy-
forever because I cannot do it alone.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I can
Wow.
kill things, but like I cannot summon the thing alone and kill it on my own
No, because it wasn't designed for that.
because it wasn't designed for that.
Yeah.
Like even if you have the most OP build,
Well, yes.
you cannot kill it alone
Yeah, no.
because it was balanced for 4 people,
Actually
fighting
playing the
to-
thing. Actually
Yeah.
playing the thing.
and that kind of thing really ruins it for me. Like
Yeah.
it just ruins it. Like I cannot do it. Aside from that,
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that because I think they really hit it on the park with Gambit and Gambit Prime. Talking about like
Gambit is a really nice concept. I really like it because I love PvE, and
Yes.
it's a nice mix of both.
yes, yes,
So even like I go into that mode knowing that I'm probably not going to contribute to a PvP part,
yes.
but I still feel useful because I'm going to be killing mobs and getting the thing.
And getting the mods and doing the
Yeah.
damage, and when the dude comes to kill you, you hide or whatever.
Yeah, and I feel I don't feel like just a rock to a team, like just
yeah.
an anchor that I'm actually contributing to a team. So the concept is really nice, but they need
Yes.
to fix Gambit Prime.
Yes, definitely. They need to fix that. Okay, so that's PvP. For my part, I played a bunch of PvP. I really enjoyed it. I find it like I felt like a similar problem with the Division, that you actually need to farm the gear to be like actually really good at it. That doesn't like, it's not all skill that will carry you to the PvP like activities all the time.
Yeah.
Right, which for me, that I come from playing a bunch of Overwatch, that's a little bit annoying, because they should like flatten everything, and and it should be a thing about skill, not about how much. Wait. I'm gonna finish the point before I get incinerated. Yes, I know.
Finish.
I know. So for me, it's my opinion that everything should be flat, and you should not care what do you take into competitive in certain activities of competitive. In certain activities of PvP, if you're going competitive, everything should be flat, and you should be like a skill thing. It should be a skill thing. When you use your abilities, probably blah, blah, blah. If you go into something more casual in PvP, I have no problem. Farm all you want. There is the argument, right? When you go into PvP in this type of games, you should be rewarded for farming the perfect gear. That's the argument, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the argument. And I will say, okay, but they should be activities for people like me that don't want to farm the perfect gear for fucking PvP and just want to play a skill game inside the system, because the system is good. I really like the shooting. Again, I really like the shooting in Destiny, right?
That's
and like
that's
it's not a wrong or right. For me, it's not a wrong or right thing, right? It's like I would like a place where I can just like skill PvP against some people, and you can have a place where like I have to farm for armor to get there, and then PvP with people with the skill and the armor that I farm, right? You can have it both, right? Recently, you can have it both.
I agree with that. Yeah, we could have both.
Yeah, we can have both. We always can have both, like the commercial.
Yeah.
Right?
Why not both?
Why not both? Right? And that's and Destiny does this. Like, it has like a bunch of like different PvP activities. The one with like you get like a lot of ultimate charge all the time, and then you capture the point, and then you have like different activities. Why not have one that was flat like skill? And then and in my opinion, I know that's not a very popular opinion, but in my opinion, that should be like your competitive place. But it's an opinion.
It could have a place. Like, definitely if you want to test your raw skill with the game, the movement and the shooting. Yeah, sure, why not?
That's my point, right? I'm not saying that, no, it shouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get burned. Yeah. And I understand, and I'm a reasonable person, so I'm not saying that, no, it should be like all flat skill all the time. No, because I understand that you should be rewarded for your time invested into the game.
Okay, there is... I'm gonna put this question forward.
All right.
For that scenario.
Yes.
Are you gonna put, what kind of rewards are you gonna put in that normalized PvP? Let's call it.
All right, normalized. That's a good thing. Yeah, like Division.
Yeah.
That actually has this.
So are you gonna put rewards on that?
The normal rewards that you get tokens and all the PvP rewards.
Okay, but then.
Yes.
You could have this problem that you can farm this normalized activity where the things that you farm don't play a role for tokens, and then you exchange these tokens for actual armor that has stats.
Yes.
So basically, you have a way of not playing the game, quote unquote.
Okay, I see your point.
To get rewards for the game.
Okay, yeah, I see your point. Yeah, yeah. So you think like in the other system you should like get better rewards?
I don't, or should be separate reward tables, and shouldn't they? I don't know. That's kind of the point. Like, because for example, in the division you have this normalized PvP zone
Yes.
where you get better loot
Yes.
because they want to encourage you to go to these zones and do the PvP dark zone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But that's kind of it. Like, it's you get stuff and it's better,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter really.
No, no. Remember that in normalize you get good loot, but in invaded you get better loot. You get more.
Yeah,
loot.
yeah, yeah. No, but
You get more.
but
No, better. More loot.
you get more loot. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
compare it to just playing PvP.
Yeah.
PvE, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because that's the whole thing. Like, I don't wanna find a workaround playing the actual PvE game
Yes, yes, yes.
throughout like a non-related PvP activity. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know your point. But yeah, but it has solutions, right? I would like to have that. I would
Okay,
like to have this, no?
no, sure, but okay. I will get maybe the difference in the division is that the actual PvP zone
Yeah.
is not a PvP arena. It's like a zone with
Okay.
enemies
All right. Yes, yes. All right. Yeah, I see your point.
where you have PvP encounters.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's not an arena
Yes,
like
yes.
the PvP arenas in Destiny
Okay.
2.
All right. But that's a wish fulfillment for me. Like I want.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, if people want it, they should have it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's give the people what they want.
And our last point is things about lore. But
That
after arguing about a lot, we decided. What we decided, Lucho, tell me.
we decided that I have a lot of opinions about the lore in Destiny 2.
A
And
lot
we're
of
gonna leave that
opinions.
for next episode
Yes, probably
because I
we're gonna
really wanna dive deep into how I feel about the lore in Destiny 2.
Oh my god! And the lore and the things and the narration
And I have a lot of feelings and opinions about it.
so that's gonna cover an entire next episode.
That's gonna be our next episode.
That's gonna be our
Actually,
next
yep.
episode. The discussion about lore in Destiny 2 and how we feel about it from the farmer and the sweaty and the game design. But here is the end of our podcast.
Yeah, we have arrived to the end of our first episode.
We have get to the end of our first episode, and it was great. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Nah.
Nowhere.
Thanks so much for listening to our ranting about Destiny and its mechanics and its designs and
Everything about it. Everything
and
about
why
it. Yeah.
I like it and why I don't like. Why do
Yeah.
I have so many feelings about it?
And at the end of the day, all this comes from a place of love. We all love, we
Yep.
both love video games, and we both love our farms,
Quite a
and we
lot.
both love our competitive size and everything else. So I hope this discussion's been like a little bit illuminating for you out there listening. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave us feedback, questions, and everything down in the comments. You can write us, or you can write us in our email, which is just appearing.
Email.
Yes, you can write us on an email, which is just appearing in the screen right now. You can contact us with us in our social media accounts. You can write us with the hashtag thesweatyandthefarmer. Questions the farmer
Yeah.
asks. Yeah,
Anything.
yeah. Anything you can hashtag not my farmer or not my sweaty.
Yeah.
And you can leave us any question, comments, or everything, feedback about the show, what you like, what you don't like. If we have to take Lucho to a hairstylist at some point,
No. No.
or something like that. But that's I think that's about it for the show.
That's about it. Thanks so much.
I don't know. Thanks a lot for listening, and those guys in YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching us too. You can I was the Long Name Gamer. I still am the Long Name Gamer. You can find me on my social media accounts there at the Long Name Gamer in Twitter. I stream from Monday to Fridays on Twitch TV/TLNG. And Luis, where people can find you?
There is my Twitter handle right now,
and that's it.
And yeah, I'll appear from time to time on LNG stream.
All right, and you can send them kisses and everything else.
Yep.
All right. With that said, we were the Sweaty the Farmer, and we discussed game design. Thanks for watching and listening. Watching and listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.